What is up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. So right now I'm about to get into this Young Thug trial. Several members of the YSL collective have been taking plea deals, and so on this one in particular, I'm guessing originally they wanted to take a plea deal, but then they rejected it once it's read to them. So let's get to it. This should be interesting.
She has not put that on record for purposes of posterities, but she's ready to do that this time, okay?
We're ready, Michael.
So that's the same, I guess that's the same DA. Where they be like, yes ma'am.
Your Honor, as it relates to Mr. Tanquarius Mender, Mr. Mender is charged with count 1 of the indictment, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. He's also charged with count 44 of the indictment, which is possession of a weapon by an incarcerated individual, which carries a sentence of 1 to 5 years. Count 45, possession of a telecommunication device by an incarcerated individual, which carries a sentence of 1 to 5 years. And last, count 46, which is participation in criminal street gang activity, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. Mr. Mender is an ANC recidivist. The state did file a recidivist notice.
You're looking at 12 to 50.
December 9th of this year. If Mr. Mender was found guilty of all the counts in the indictment, he'd be looking at a maximum exposure of 50 years to serve in prison.
And now, could you explain the difference? I think for Ms.
Crime does not pay.
I'm sure that Ms.
Stay
Payton's
out the
probably
streets,
explained that to
kids.
her client.
12
but
to
can
50
you tell
years.
Mr. for the benefit of the record and for Mr. Mender's benefit, what potentially may happen if he were to be convicted of any of these particular counts? Like what would under A or C?
Yes, if he's convicted of any of the counts, as an ANC recidivist, Mr. Mender, you would have to get the maximum amount on for that charge, and then whatever time the court gives you, which if it was to be the maximum, you have to spend every day door to door, which means you have to spend every day in custody.
He get no good time.
No.
It's a to-the-door sentence.
Yes, he would get any credit for a time served.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
But anything else would be a full sentence door to door.
So his max is 50 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what's the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer for Mr. Mender as to count 1.
Better try and gonna tell collective.
Commuted to time served with a balance of 15 years on probation.
Is that him on the bench with his mouth like
the
this?
State would offer that his probation could be terminated upon successful completion of the first 10 years of this sentence, provided that he violated no provisions of the agreement or no special conditions of the agreement, and that he violates no law of the state of Georgia. As to count 44, the state's recommendation is 5 years to serve 1 year, commuted to time served, with a balance to be served on probation, concurrent with count 1. As to count 45, it would be 5 years to serve 1 year, commuted to time served in confinement. Commuted to time served, followed by 4 years on probation, concurrent with counts 1 and 44. And
that probation is where they get them back, because they're put in a situation to where they might trip up. So that probation is a mother. You're looking at like 20 years of probation if you took the deal.
46 would be 16 years to serve 1 year, commuted to time served, followed by 15 years on probation, concurrent with count 1, 44, and
Good
45.
Lord.
Would be the offer. Mr. Mender also is currently on another indictment, 21 SC 178250. In this case, as a part of the agreement, would run concurrent with that case whenever he resolves that other case, Your Honor.
Is that before me or before another division?
It is in this division currently, Your Honor, and that's being handled by ADA Law Jansen with the state.
Bro, right here look like he got grays in his hair already. Or is that just lighting? Or is that just lightning?
Does he have bond on that case ending in 250?
I don't believe he has a bond on that case. No,
He does not?
He has a no bond status.
But on this case, is potentially he could go home today.
Correct. If he was given a bond, he would. This case, he would not have served any jail time on this
All right.
case.
Okay.
And that offer will also conclude today, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Fagan, have you communicated that to your client in terms of is that to correctly summarize the plea agreement or the potential plea offer, I should say?
The only change was that he wasn't aware of the concurrent status for the second case. At this time, though, he still maintains a not guilty plea.
Sure.
Respectfully requests, rejects the offer, and we announce ready for trial.
Okay, Mr. Mender, I'll tell you and I'll tell Mr. Beatty and Mr. Stevens the same thing, okay? At this point, you have the absolute right to plead not guilty, and that's what the law will presume, and the court will, of course, instruct that you have a presumption, and the presumptions and protections you enjoy as a criminal accused. You have to decide for yourselves what you want to do in this particular case, depending upon the results or the outcome of the trial. The only thing I would tell you, Mr. Mender, is the most, and I'm sure that Ms. Fagan, she is a very fine attorney. Seen her work. But trials, there's one thing about trials, it's uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen. So,
He basically saying don't gamble.
Counts. If you don't beat them, what will happen is, under this A and C
You're gonna get the maximum.
I have to, under the law, sentence you to the maximum sentence. And then whatever I sentence you to, you serve to the door. That's not anything I have any discretion over. It's not anything because I don't like you or because of what you're being charged with or whatever. Those have nothing to do with anything. That's what the state of Georgia, the legislature has mandated that I sentence you to. So
and you heard them charges, right? Some is 1 to 5 and some is 5 to 20.
So, and what the state's telling you today is if you take the plea today, this is what you're going to get, and this is what I probably sentence you to, and you're done. You got to decide that for yourself. You can't be worried about any of these other folks that are attached to this indictment, because a plea is individual to that particular person for those particular reasons that he or she
yeah,
feels,
all that nice snitching
is
and
the best interest
taking
to
it
them.
on the
Anybody
chin.
else?
That
So, if you want a couple minutes out to talk with Ms. Fagan about that, nobody will be the wiser.
But there's consequences in that world, so I
But if you
understand.
don't wish to do so, that's fine too.
That's why you
get
don't
the
get
fairest
involved in
trial
that.
that the law demands and expects you to get, you will get that. I, as your trial judge, will make sure that that occurs. But one of the things I cannot do is, I can't force the state at the end of trial to pull this recidivist notice. If you get convicted, they can maintain it, and you'll serve every day of it. And Ms. Fagan can ask them to pull it, and they can say no. I can't make them do that. So, you got a lot to think about. So, I'll give you a few more minutes to ponder that, because that is, when they file a recidivist notice, they have basically, in poker terms, they've called. Like, what do you want to do? So, I'll let you think about that, and you can let me know, and if not, then we'll see you next week for trial. Mr. Beebe, where are you?
Here, Your Honor. Judge, we're in a similar situation. We would reject the state's offer as provided on record, Your Honor. However, Mr. Beebe would ask the court would hear a non-negotiated plea as to the indictment.
I would.
If that's the case, Judge, Mr. Beebe...
bro about to tell, he rocking.
I would.
We would reject the state's offer as provided on record, Your Honor. However, Mr. Beebe would ask the court would hear a non-negotiated plea as to the indictment.
I would.
If that's the case, Judge, Mr. Beatty was then asked if he does not agree with Your Honor's sentence, would the court allow him to withdraw the plea and proceed to trial?
I need to think about that for just a second, okay?
Understood.
Just give me a minute, okay? But yes, that's more than fine.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Beatty, you got the same kind of, same discussion I had with Mr. Mender applies to you, but let me just get back with you just a second, okay? Mr. Stevens, where are you?
For your judge.
Okay, madam, are you still talking to your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm actually still exchanging text messages with the state. So
Okay, I'm gonna take a couple of minutes out and let you all continue to chat. I'm gonna just take a recess, and I'll come back in just a minute, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right.
Bro, like I ain't doing that. Yeah, he already got grades, so shit. That boy already got grades, and he probably in his. Yeah, look at bro already got grades, and he probably in his. He probably 29, 30-ish, and he already got grades. So if he get convicted, I don't think he might not even make it through the sentencing due to not the sentencing, but through actual serving all the time because of the stress. Like, you got grades in your 30s. That shit is crazy. Yeah, 50 burger. 50 years, you gonna be old and gray. Crazy. Man, 15 years of probation is a trap. Maybe he knows he can't hold himself to them type of standards. Yeah, probation is what end up getting you, because with probation, you can't be around any convicted felons. You can't be around any type of drugs or alcohol. You can't be around any type of firearms. You can't be around anything illegal. So, and the circle that he hangs around engages in all four of those activities. So the probation is always a trap. You're basically gonna have to become a square. Pretty much. See, right here. Man, I did 4 years, supposed to be in 5, but I got off a year early. Really had to change how I was living. No more smoking, hanging out, going certain places, doing certain things. You have to be mentally prepared to accept those type of terms. Yep, and you have to report to, I think that's when you get parole. I think you do have to report to a parole officer. I do believe. I forgot how it went, because I had family members that went through that shit. Yeah, the judge, I do like the judge. You know, some judges be pricks, but this one seems to be fair. Yeah, because he know. Shoot, if you don't beat it, 50 years as opposed to taking that plea deal and it look like you get 5 years and then probation for like a long time. Sure is. The mother too don't look like they ready to tell. A dude in the back is the only one that looking like he ready for whatever. The other two looking like they gonna break. Dude with the grays, and then the other dude that's rocking back and forth like they ain't ready for all that stuff. And that's why you don't get involved in this foolishness. But that's gonna do it for my reaction. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Be sure to drop a like and a comment below. And until the next one, peace.
Visions in my head be like crazy, always crazy, crazy, crazy. Whoa, baby, baby, so crazy, so crazy. crazy, always crazy, crazy, crazy. Visions in my head be like crazy, always crazy, crazy, crazy. Visions in my head be like crazy, crazy, always